Are you worried of being defined before you do it? Because you watch President Trump come out and try to label you as a Paul Ryan, Jeb Bush type of Republican. And are you worried about being defined because you're governor and you're not a candidate yet?
So when you have a record of achievement, people can call you a name, but that's not going to trump the achievement. And so we've built an astounding record of achievement. The best is yet to come. We're going to do a lot more over the next few months. And that's what people look to. Now, if I was just like, some random, maybe like a senator that didn't have accomplishments, then maybe someone could try to define you.
I really love the hidden messaging there. He mentioned the word Trump and then saying the best is yet to come, which is Kimberly Guilfoyle's little line that she loves to use. DeSantis is smart, he is smooth. Of course, I don't know it's gonna be enough to convince Florida voters, who a number of them, as we've seen, are still on that Trump bandwagon. But I know DeSantis is at least going to try. What do you think, Alonzo?
Well, if you're gonna win Florida, you have to win the villages, right? I mean, that's where the voters are. It's funny listening to both of these guys, right? Because Trump says something horrible and then says, I might say that, and well, you just said it. And the other problem with Trump, well, the other funny thing is, you notice he threw Pizza Hut under the bus, but he won't touch McDonald's. Just saying, McDonald's is sacred. Pizza Hut you could throw under the bus. And then DeSantis did a Trump. He said, I have an astounding record of, great accomplishment. You know how Trump would say he did something, but not say what it was? It was just the greatest, most astounding, most outstanding, whatever. DeSantis just did the same thing. If you look at my record, there is an outstanding record of amazing accomplishment. Name one, like banning books. I guess that counts as an outstanding, I don't know. So they're both talking, they're both flexing. This is like fighters before the boxing match, when they stand up there and they're just talking a bunch of hype to hype the fight and get you to throw your money in the fight. And people are, I guess the fight now is to see who the Republican Party is gonna back and whose money is going to go where, right? That's what they're setting up. I'm really not sure, but it's kind of fun to watch and at the same time scary.
Yes, it's very scary, the possibility that any one of them could be leading our nation in the coming years. But you're absolutely right. They're just like fighters before the fight with the weigh-in, chirping at each other, getting chesty, pushing, just talking a bunch of game, but not giving us any substance. And of course, Donald Trump can't provide any substance because his mind doesn't work that way. And DeSantis, it's like you noted, Alonzo, what are you gonna say? That you have done various things that violate the Constitution, not just of Florida, but of the United States? Or things that are inhumane, like moving individuals who are migrants to different geographic areas under false pretenses. I'd like to think that's somewhat of human trafficking. It just really tells us that this is kind of how they approach their demographic, which is a lot of talk, but no actual substance. And it's sad because it's worked before. And so DeSantis has no reason to think it won't work again. And something I will say, which I covered on Rebel headquarters this past weekend, is the possibility of a split ticket if Donald Trump tried to run on a third party ticket. The thing is, he's not in any way precluded from doing so. It's just that there are 6 states out there that have a rule that say they will not put you on the ballot if you drop off of a primary, any kind of lead party, and then all of a sudden want to run on a third party ticket, Ralph Nader style. But that doesn't mean that people couldn't write in Trump's name. That doesn't mean he couldn't end up taking away votes like Ralph Nader did back in 2000. It's this kind of stuff could easily go down, and as a result of that, it could be difficult for DeSantis if he ends up getting the Republican nomination and Trump does decide to go ahead and run on a third party ticket because he's salty. Alonzo, really quick, do you think that that's a potential possibility?
Well, when you talk about the third party ticket in the states that say you can't drop from a major party to a third party, this is where Trump's friends on the Supreme Court will come in handy, because they'll just overturn that and let him do it. I mean, we've already seen that this Supreme Court is like, well, we'll rubber stamp whatever he says, so when you talk about the Constitution, and this has never happened in my lifetime, the Constitution becomes optional with this Supreme Court. The actual Constitution, they're like, yeah, we don't like that. We're going to change. Or here's a good idea. Let's go back to 1765 because they knew exactly what was going. So the rules don't apply. A third party run for Trump would probably be about as successful as Truth Social, his giant third party social media company. But there's no rules here. There are no rules here. This is going to be unprecedented. I don't know what the Democrats are going to do. I don't know how they will take advantage of this Republican infighting. I hope they figure out how to make the most of it, but unfortunately, I don't have a lot of confidence in that either.
Yeah, and I understand that for sure. I don't think that the Supreme Court would back Trump in any way, just in part because I think the way that they've responded so far when he has come to them for help has been one of rejecting him, because I think they're going to be aligned with whoever the Republicans decide to nominate as their leader. Because again, I think Trump showed too many cards. And I think that this is also what's happening where the walls are closing in on him in terms of indictment, in part because the Republicans now are like, no, we don't want this man to be nominated to our ticket. So we are going to go ahead and give the go ahead for maybe these prosecutors out here who are claiming to be Democrats, but aren't necessarily the case. And they may go ahead and move forward with him.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.